Window tint shop owners, if you are not doing this, you are literally leaving a lot of money and a lot of profit on the table in your business. And that is upselling. If you are not upselling your customers into A, a higher level of film, or B, different add-ons like a windshield or a sunroof, or C, other services, then you are literally leaving a lot of money on the table. Now in this video, I'm going to show you first of all why you need to upsell, and secondly how to actually upsell, which is actually more important. And the reason I can say this is because we have a client who's upselling 50% of his customers. 50% of people that walk in his door, he upsells. And I've spoken to multiple people, by the way, in the last few days and couple of weeks who are also upselling 50% of their people or their customers, which is crazy. So it's definitely possible. I'm going to show you how to do it for your business. But before I do that, I want to talk about the secret weapon of our industry. Can anyone guess what the secret weapon of this industry is? I'll give you a couple seconds. It is what we call a heat lamp or a heat box. It is literally a secret weapon, a superpower, because people can literally feel the difference. They can feel the difference, and that is the most powerful thing. Rather than us explaining it, rather than them even maybe seeing it, they can feel the difference with their own hands, and they can literally experience what it is like with the option that blocks a lot of heat. So it is a superpower because of this one thing, and you're very lucky to be in an industry with this superpower. Now, if you do not have a heat lamp, or worse, if you have a heat lamp and you're not using it, please start using it. And by the end of this video, I will basically show you how to make more money right now without having to spend more on ads, just by upselling your people, utilizing your existing heat lamp, which you probably already have. Now, before I go into more of the why, pretty simple that you need to upsell, but there's some more nuances on why you should upsell. I want to show you some numbers. I just want to make it clear for you. So let's say you do 100 jobs a month. Just one example, you do 100 jobs a month, and let's say you have two packages. Just to keep it simple, you have a $300 carbon package and you have a $500 ceramic package. Now, let's say for argument's sake, in one scenario, you are doing 100 jobs at $300. Now that brings you $30,000 a month in revenue. Okay. Now on the flip side, let's say we start upselling 50% of our customers, because again, 50% is very, very doable. Let's say we start upselling 50% of our customers, not on a windshield, not on anything else, just on a higher level of film. Because, by the way, just upselling them on a level of film, or let's say for ceramic coating, upselling them from a 3-year to a 5-year or 7-year, the labor cost is literally the same, and the material cost is literally very, very minimal. So most of this, almost all of this, goes straight to your bottom line or your profit. So let's go back to the example. Let's say 50% of people go with the initial option, but we are able to upsell 50% into the $500 option. So 50 times 300, and then 50 of the customers go to 500. And now you see why I picked 100. It's a very easy number to work with. But this is $15,000 in revenue, and this is actually $25,000 in revenue. So now that brings the total to a whopping $40,000 in revenue, an extra $10,000, and the best part is this is literally 90% profit, because like we all know, your ceramic film does not cost that much more than your carbon film, unless you're using like Autobahn or whatever the case is. But most of the time the film cost is very, very minimal, and most of it is coming profit because the labor is essentially the same, right? So that is some numbers, very, very important. Now another reason why you should actually upsell, let's go back to our example. Let's say we have a $300 option. Okay, we have a $500 option, and let's say for argument's sake we have like a $650, like a super ceramic or whatever the case is. If you pitch someone all three options on the sales call, you are basically doing yourself a disservice, and you're actually getting in less customers. So here's what I mean. Like, you probably pitch, if you're not trained in sales, you'll probably pitch on the sales call like something like, oh, by the way, it's going to be $650 for this super ceramic, $500 for this ceramic. It has this much heat rejection. The higher one has this much heat rejection. If you want affordable option, we have $300 carbon, which has, a bit less heat rejection. That's how you probably typically pitch. The problem with that is that when you give all three options to a customer, this is exactly what leads to a think about it objection. When you give someone so many things to think about and consider, you are literally feeding them a reason to give you a think about it objection, because they do have to think about it. You've given them 3 options, now they don't know which one to go for. It literally doesn't make any sense. But because you can upsell them in person, you can literally, if you're not good at sales, just pitch the $300 option. It's easier to close them, and you know that when they come in, they will see the heat lamp and they will upsell to either the 500 or even the 650, because there's always that 20% of people that literally want the best of the best. So upselling will make your sales calls actually easier and make it easier to close people, because you're not giving them 100 different options, and you don't even have to pitch, by the way, like your 650, because like it's not impossible to convince someone to go for the highest price option on that phone call. It just makes it harder, and you need to have more sales skill and sales ability. So instead of going the harder route and improving your sales skills and sales ability, you can go the easier route and just start pitching your cheapest option, and then when they come in, you can focus on upselling them. And this is a money model, and I want you to think about this. If you've ever used like a moving service or like a storage service, let's say a storage service, for example, all of these services have like something like free month or like $1 a month or whatever it is. That is there just to bring you in the door. Now, because when you come in the door, what else do you need? You need a lock to lock your storage. You need boxes to pack stuff for your storage. You probably need a trolley. I don't know if they charge for a trolley, but you need all of these other things, right? And these businesses have figured it out. And you can also, like the businesses I talked to you in the start of the video who are upselling 50% of the customers, they have also figured it out. And the reason I'm making this video is because I want you to figure it out and start using this. Like, it is way easier to upsell someone once they have already kind of put a deposit down and paid you. And by the way, like, if this is not clear already, when they go for the $300 option, they have to have paid a deposit. Like, they have to have like bought in already when they come on the sale. But another example is like tanning companies. They'll probably have some sort of offer where it's like $49 tan for your first tan or whatever it is. And then when you come in, they will upsell you on some sort of package. And that is a money model. You want to have a front end offer, which is a low offer, which is more appealing. And the benefit of this is it will be easier to sell. Let's say your marketing costs will be lower. Your cost per lead will be lower because you have a lower price and there's more people like willing to buy at a lower price. And there's a lot of like math behind that, but it's very, very beneficial, especially if you're not good at sales, to do that. So as you can see, there are literally so many reasons to be upselling. Now let's talk about how to actually upsell, because this is arguably more important. So as I've mentioned, on the sales call, just pitch the lowest package. So first of all, on the sales call, you pitch the lowest package and you get a deposit, okay? And then you get a deposit. And now that person, they're excited. They're going to come in maybe on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever the day is, they're going to come and drop off their car. The second step that you need to do, and by the way, shout out to Austin Cook, Ryan Lund, Kevin as well, have shared their process for this, which I've learned a lot from, so shout out them. But when they come in, they're obviously super excited. You want to bring their car in, maybe talk to them a bit about their car, build some sort of rapport. You need to have some sort of personality, by the way, like for them to get to like you. But when they come in, you want to take them in and show them the heat lamp. And it's as simple as, hey, by the way, I just want to show you all of the different films we offer. I know you're getting the carbon or the 300, but I just want to show you the other films, okay? Then you basically take them to the heat box, you show them the films, okay? And over here, a trick that I've learned is when you're doing the heat lamp demo, you basically want to have like the highest shade possible, because like obviously 70% will have a different heat rejection than a 5%, right? So what you want to do is have your carbon in like 50%, let's say. I don't know if it goes as high as 70, but you want to have that. And then you want to have your ceramic at like 5% or 20%. Obviously, this is not to mislead people, but the ceramic will, even if it's the same percentage, it will reject a lot more heat. So you want to have that difference of films. And this is, again, something that I've learned from the people that I have spoken to. You can also, some people, what they do is they keep this option as a dyed film, okay? It's not even a carbon film, because they know when they come in, the difference between the dyed film and then the ceramic is literally like worlds apart. So you can also do that. That is another thing. So you want to show them the heat lamp, okay? And they will be like, wow. They will be amazed, and they will probably ask you over here, like, how much is it? And you can say something like, okay, and by the way, this is the option most people actually end up going with. Over here, by the way, if you have some sort of discount, some sort of urgency, you can say something like, oh, well, it's typically like $550, but since you're already here, I can do it for 500 for you. Would you like me to do that? Okay. And then plus you're saying the line of, oh, this is actually the film most people end up getting, which is not lying, by the way. That is the film most people end up getting if you're ending up upselling 50% of your people. Very, very easy upsell process. And if you have another film, by the way, you can stick that on the heat lamp and just show them the difference in that. And by the way, pitch that. And you can say, just because you're already here, I can do it for 600. And that's very important. When you are upselling, you will get more people to actually buy when there's some sort of like deal, right? Because they're already in the shop, you do not need to spend additional marketing spend to get that person. So if it is 550, you can say, hey, since you're already here, I can do it for 500 for you. Like, would you like me to do that? Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, like there's always opportunity to upsell a windshield, okay? Walk them around your shop, show some of the cars that are getting windshield, and then you say, well, actually, if you're getting it for the heat, one of the biggest things that actually protects from the heat is the front windshield. And again, the same thing, since you're already here, it's typically this, I can do it for this since you're already here. Do that thing, and that is when they're in the shop, okay? The upsell process is not finished, okay, by the way. This is just when they're in the shop. Now, before they leave, okay, just set an expectation that you will be texting them, okay? Like something like, oh, by the way, I'll text you updates while your car is being worked on, I'll just shoot you some updates. If that's cool, they'll be like, yeah, cool. Now, when you say this, it's basically planting a seed that you will obviously text them some stuff and they will reply back to you, okay? So that's just like setting some sort of expectations with them. So that brings me to the second sort of upsell, the text upsell. And this is like genius, by the way. When their car is in the shop, just send a picture, it's being worked on, super excited, here's how it looks, XYZ, and think of literally anything else you can think of to upsell. Now, Austin Cook talks about upselling like the blacking out like there's some small lights on a car, I don't know what it's called, but blacking them out for like $50 a piece or whatever it is. He talks about that. He also upsells like no fault warranty. He also upsells like shaving the edges. There's so much stuff you can upsell, by the way, on text upsell. If you have a detailing side, you can also say upsell like a quick wash. And the way you want to do it is be like, hey, I noticed like your car is a little dirty. Do you want me to just wash it for you, like a quick wash? They'd be like, yeah, how much is it? Be like, well, because it's already here, I can just do it for like XYZ amount. Okay, $100 or whatever it is. That's for you to decide what price you want to do. Because it's already here, I can do it for XYZ amount, okay? You want to always offer them that deal, okay? They'll say yes, and by the way, they can also say no. And what's crazy is like, if they say no, you're literally not losing anything. You're in the same place that you already are. It's not like you're losing the job because the car is already being worked on, okay? Same logic, if their car is in for ceramic coating, you can just upsell the two front windows. You can say, by the way, since your car is already here, do you want me to just match the two front windows to the back? Now, normally in our ceramic film, it's like 205. I can just do it for you for 180, okay? And they either say yes or no, but you will never actually upsell someone if you don't ask. So you have to be asking to actually upsell. So that is the text upsell. And now you have successfully taken a $300 job to potentially $1,000 job, right? And let's say you don't take every $300 job to $1,000 job, at least at the minimum you can take it to 500, and now you're basically profiting 200 off each sale. So this is the money model that most shops do not understand, and I want to share it with you guys so that you can start doing it. So now that you have seen this video, start implementing the heat lamp or the heat box demo. Start implementing the text upsells. Just think of, brainstorm what you can upsell, and obviously offer some sort of deal since the car is already here. And start doing this with every single customer. And I guarantee, like, at the minimum, you will be upselling like 20% of your people. Like, it's just a case of you don't even need to be good at sales. It's just a case of you have to literally ask them, like, do you want this? Okay. And it's the same logic with like asking for a referral. If you don't ask, you won't get. Okay, so just start doing this and I guarantee you will make more money. But that's it for the video. If there was anything that was unclear, shoot me a comment below, or drop a comment below. If there's anything else you want to see, any more video ideas, whether it's running through the numbers, showing you like results, whatever it is, just let me know in the comment section. But yeah, drop a like, subscribe. And there's a link in the description for people that want to book a call, that want us to help them out and help grow their shop and faster and all of that stuff. You don't have to click it. It's just for people who do want to. But yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.